Hi, welcome to the GlamLife podcast. My name is Victoria Rocca, but you might know me as Victoria Glam if you follow me over on Instagram. And if you don't, you totally should. Today, I have a special guest with me. I say that every week. Special guest with me. A good guest, my favorite guest. But really, this is a
We're all
special
special.
guest. Yeah, you're all special, but you're extra special because you
I
guys,
am.
it's my former coaching student, Ashley Roberts, the brow wizard. And we never have men on this podcast. So, everyone, please welcome from the other side of the pond, Mr. Ashley Roberts. Hi, Ashley.
Yay, thank you. Am I the first guy on the podcast?
You're the second. I had Danny Tran on, but you're
Oh,
the first
okay.
brow
Yeah.
artist. You're the first
Okay,
brow
well, I'll take
artist.
that.
I'll take it
And I'm the
too.
only magician.
You're the you're the only magician, and
Okay.
but you're not the only brow wizard though. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's somebody in the US, but it's a woman, and I find it
Yeah,
strange because I kind of associate wizard with
men.
men, and then like witch as a woman, but the brow witch just doesn't have the same ring, I guess. Why is my name Gaylord?
Okay, I was just wondering this. So funny. So I had Katie and Mindy in a Zoom already because we were just coaching and all the students were off. So it was just the three of us. And I was like, well, I'm waiting on Ashley to hop on. And then I remembered I hadn't sent you the link. So I sent you the link and I said, oh, there he is. Oh, it's Gaylord.
Did you guys hear that we just launched a new free online course? It's all about numbing. I'm talking ingredients, application, best practices, and 5 demos, including how to not smudge your pre-draw for brows and lips when working with primary anesthetic.
Ready?
I'm kind of an open book. I'm like Carla, like, just
Good.
go for it.
That's why Carla's episode did so fucking well. Because when people come on and they just want to be polished and don't say anything that might shake feathers, like it's boring.
Yeah, I'll just upset everyone.
Yeah, just upset everyone. Step in it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
You're also the first person on the podcast who's got probably the most insight into GuyBrows. I'm sure some people
Okay.
I know do male brows, but I don't know anyone who specializes in it. And when I think GuyBrow, I think of you. How did you get, I mean, obviously you are a man, but there are plenty of men who do women's lips, women's brows. How
Yeah,
did
for
you
sure.
get kind of niched down into doing men's brows and men's lips?
It was through lockdown. I started tuning into Hoy and Perfect Frame, Jonathan and Dimitri doing lives. And obviously it's all I went onto their page, discovered what they did, and I saw the male microblading, and I thought, hold on a second, this could be something because I didn't know anybody in the UK who was doing it, maybe the odd that like I trained with Brow Jam and I know Janine had done a few men's brows. It was actually a set of men's brows that made me book the course to go and do microblading 5 years ago. Um, but yeah, it was like just saw that gap, like something different. Obviously, I'm a guy in the industry. I already stood out from the get-go because there's not many of us. You can count most of us on one hand.
Yeah.
And then also setting myself apart even more and just really just try and find that kind of part of the industry that makes me a little bit different and makes me stick out. So we kind of ran with it. And then before I knew it, I was doing Guy Brows, Guy Lips, Guy Eyeliner. And it's like just kind of evolved into this big brand.
That's so cool. Guy eyeliner. I haven't even seen that.
Guy
Your
Liner.
eyeliner. That's cute. I like that. And I think that there's like a certain genre of guys who ordinarily wear eyeliner, like Johnny Depp, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's kind of like
that's a very small subsect. How do you find, or how do these guys find you? How did you find your niche,
it's more
basically?
so doing the brows and then I talk about liner. Like if they've
Yeah.
got gorgeous eyes, like men always have beautiful eyes
But
and
even
typically
guys who get their
beautiful
brows
lashes.
done, how are you finding guys or in the beginning?
Okay.
Obviously, now you're known for it. But in the beginning,
Yeah,
how did you
so
build this collaborative with all these guys?
I think in the first case, it was literally just like call up the gays, like call the queens, call the girls, who wants the brows done? Let's make some content. I always feel like the best way to find clients is you're in a circle. So I reached out
Yeah.
to people, the people who I knew wouldn't be afraid of the camera, first of all. Once I got the content, we then monetized the shit out of it. And now I use certain platforms to find certain clients. Facebook is for me older ladies who have got plenty of money,
Sure.
overclocked to death. And then you've got kind of Instagram finds the broke girls. I hate to say it, and it's no disrespect, but it's the girls who put everything on a credit card. And then in TikTok is where I find all the men. And it's this now running machine that I've kind of automated and regurgitate a lot of the same content, but it's constantly bringing in male leads all the time. And every single one of my TikToks has gone viral for male content. We've never had one flop. Women
That's
flop all the
amazing.
time. Yeah.
Well, there's just so much of it. There's so much of it. So not
Yeah.
only are you in a niche market with not very much competition, which is why you're doing so well, but also none are flopping because it's very interesting. It's a highly desirable
Yeah.
content.
And it's
Wow.
like if you're kind of scrolling, it's like all my male content does well on Instagram because you go on your feed now, it's woman after woman after woman after woman
Yep.
after woman, but you see a handsome man and you'd be like, oh, what's that? What's he having done? And it just immediately like you don't
You're
need the
exactly
hook
right.
on the line. The face is the hook. The gender is the hook. It's this weird little like marketing trick. And I think that's why I did so well in the industry, just being a man. People immediately knew who I was.
I love
And
that. Was there like a bridge? Was there a gap to bridge when you wanted to then start training and a lot of women were coming to you?
um no, not really. It kind of just happened naturally. It's kind of just like found itself. It's like with the whole like marketing with TikTok, like it's all kind of just like organically kind of dealing with itself now. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
Yeah. So I know that you work very closely with my friend Carla. Would you say that she's
Mhm.
like been a mentor that you trust with all of this, or was that something that you built yourself up? And so, of course, the greats want to be with you.
Well, yeah, of course, the latter.
Okay.
It's like friends in high places find each other, I guess. She's definitely a mentor, but I would argue, and I'm sure she would agree, I'm a mentor to her in ways as well. We've both kind of found each other, and we both kind of what I lack, she will make up for, and what she lacks, I will make up for, and we kind of complement each other really well in that sense. We've got a really unique bond that both of us really adore.
What was I lacking? Why'd you fire me?
Darling, it wasn't you, it was the institution.
No, I got it. I got it. I'm gonna use that as our marketing promo.
I felt like Harry then, like Prince Harry. It's giving royal meltdown.
It's giving royal pain in my ass. That
Literally.
is so funny. I told Katie I was gonna ask you that, and she was like, "That there's your lead. There's your lead, babe."
Yeah, there's, and I said to you before this started, like, I don't hold back. Like,
And I
I
love
will
it.
say what I want to say. I will upset who I want to upset. It's only the truth. So rock
Hmm.
and roll.
I getting back to actually the question that I asked, I
Okay.
also think of Carla as a mentor, even though she probably thinks of me as her contemporary, and we do go back and forth. I call Carla for lots of things.
Yeah.
And little known fact, it shouldn't be little known because I feel like every time I mention Carla, I mention this fact, but just not enough
Okay.
people listen to me. She named one of her pigment colors after me.
She
Glam is
did. She
named
did.
after me. So she definitely thinks of me as a contemporary, but I still just put her on a pedestal. Like Carla's knowledge is out of
Mm,
this world. I find that having a collaboration with Carla, like we've been coaching together, has been really
yeah.
easy, but also it's been very in educational for me because I love watching the way that one of the greats works, working side by side. You
Yeah.
guys are working on a project together right now, right?
We are. We've got a couple of projects in the works.
What can
Which
you tell?
there's one big one that we can't talk about yet. I think a few select students, Carla may have let it slip. Um, but yeah, legally we're not meant to be talking about it just yet. So I'm really good at like following the rules.
I love
Um,
that.
but we've got an overseas collaboration currently in the works, which I think we were talking about it just this morning. We feel that it is really going to shake the industry and it's going to, I don't know what the word you would find. Like, it's almost intimidating. And Jacob was saying this the other day. I think when two exceptional artists from two opposite ends of the world are working together on something that's going to really kind of, I don't like put your feet in the ground and make something really strong and unique, everyone else is kind of like chittering, chattering in the background, and they're all really nervous. They don't know what we're cooking up. And like you say, it's like you go to Carla for everything.
Yeah.
I do too. She is such a force to be reckoned with. So it's like this industry knows that she's not playing games when she plans these projects. Like look at Enhance and Embody and Restore and Reclaim.
Yeah.
Like it's been the biggest thing that's happened in the industry in a long time.
Carla definitely has the biggest stick in the room in any room she walks into.
Yeah.
I mean, she swings that salami around too. She's got no fear.
Yeah, well, I've seen it. So
I've seen her I've seen her dick pics. I have also seen her swinging that dick around. Like when I tell her something, she's like, absolutely fucking not. I can't even believe my lawyer would mop the floor. Like she's a shark. And that's part
yeah.
of, I think, one of the allures about her is like she's
Mm.
unfuckwithable. So I would feel really confident going into a partnership on a project with Carla because everything's going to be taken care of to the T. I
Yeah.
love that. So even if we can't talk about it, even if I don't know what it is, I already have every confidence that it's going to be absolutely Krakatoa, like that everyone's going to know
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
She's crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and I am there just to design and give my creative input. And that's really where the roles start and
I love
end.
that. What actually is next for you? I mean, are you going to stay behind the chair for a long time, or are you transitioning into more education?
This year is kind of all about me stepping into the room now as an educator. So it's weird to be in this position because my diary is the busiest it's ever been. And I'm right in the midst of like the high season, but I'm kind of really working now at trying to take a step back. This year is all about me finding like where I fit in this industry as an educator. It's been asked of me for years and years and years. And my debut teaching was with Carla last summer in New York, and we did Ultimate Lips. And from that point, she was like, this is your time now. You need to be teaching, like, stop dicking about. And
Yeah.
so I've kind of just geared myself up and I've started booking in classes. I was teaching colour theory yesterday at Browista UK. I was also a judge for that for microblading.
Ooh,
And last minute lamination because I think somebody dropped out, something went wrong. So
it's
in
probably
true, yeah, in true
sorry,
brow wizard
Natalie.
style, I picked up the pieces.
That's a browista for you, baby. Let me ask you this. When you say, you're the busiest you've ever been, so it feels a little
Mm,
weird to almost step away from the chair in favor of stepping into the room as an educator.
yeah.
How do you feel then when other people are saying, well, my business is slow, so I'm getting into training? The silence.
It's well, yeah, there you go. That's your answer. Next question. No, it's such a strange place to be in to think that if you can't fill your diary doing like your bread and butter, what makes you think you've got any right to be training and teaching?
Well, I feel the same way about coaching. If you're
Yeah,
not boots on the ground doing the thing, how the
yeah,
hell are you going to tell me how to do it in 2024 boots on the ground? You're
yeah.
giving me advice from 2017
From an ebook.
from an ebook that you read from Amazon or Etsy in 2017.
Or a
It's
lockdown ebook that
it's a
everybody gave
weird,
away.
yeah. Yeah, we gave away ebooks like crazy in lockdown.
Yeah.
Here's my guide on how to groom your brows at home. Oh
That
my
was the real pandemic. It was ebooks, PDFs flying around, spreading viruses.
spreading misinformation left, right, and up
Yeah.
the I agree with you there. That was also the onslaught of online courses. A lot of people think that online courses specifically have devalued the industry. And then the crop of all of these new educators who maybe don't have the years behind them or who maybe failed
Yeah.
behind the chair. And so they said, well, I'll slide into educating instead because fucking Jennifer Lopez, so annoying, such a fucking liar all the time. She has that quote from that movie with Richard Gere where she's a ballroom dancer. She says, those that can do, those that can't teach. And people just took that and ran with
Yeah, they
it.
ran with it. Yeah.
Bro, those that can steal from Ashanti and make a whole music career out of it. I don't know what else to tell you, but that's not how it works. Like you can't
Yeah.
fake it till you make it with education. Either you
No.
know it or you don't know it. But a lot of people on the Facebook boards are saying essentially that this uprising of all these undereducated educators
Yeah.
is actually what has led to people having slow books right now because there's so many artists out there and they're doing
Yeah.
shit
There's too
work, kind
many.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
denigrating the industry. But I don't know. I'm on both sides of that fence because I feel like those who want to get into the industry have every right to get real education. So if you want to come and take a class, you should be able to. I don't think we should
Yeah.
gatekeep, but do I feel like there are some people churning out students left and right? I don't even understand how they're still getting 15 students into a 2-day class,
Yeah.
after
But
two or
then it's
three
the
days.
same with people doing clients as well who are shit at the work. It's just because they're kind of getting the low hanging fruit. It's all cheap and it's all just devaluing the industry.
It
But I
is because
totally agree with what you said.
if I know 5 people who've had their brows done and I'm looking at 3 of them have gray brows, one has a red eyebrow, and one looks good, do I want to get my brows done?
This is the thing, yeah. It's always met with like people come in now for a consultation and it's always met with, oh, I've seen this and I've seen that. And I've got a friend at work and she's got really bad eyebrows. And I'm like, so she
Yes.
paid £150 and got it on Groupon.
Yes.
Like, there's a big difference now.
Mhm.
You get what you pay for. It's never been truer in this industry with your education or with the treatments that you receive.
You want to talk about ethics? I knew someone, it wasn't me. I knew someone who was coaching people, and the first thing they were telling them to do was put their work on Groupon. That was their coaching
I
advice.
could never. I could never.
Can you imagine paying thousands of dollars to someone to tell you discount your price and then pay 90% of it to Groupon for people who are
Yeah.
never going to come back, always going to complain, and your work's not very good anyway? I think we have a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, we do.
I think we have a big problem. We have a skills problem with people not learning real skill set in a class that they paid way too much for. And I think we have a problem with people then telling them you don't need another class, you need to get on Groupon.
It's so bad. And
Uh,
it's, oh, I mean, I've been in this industry 15 years total. I've been tattooing for 5 years this summer, but I was a beautician to start with. I did hair and beauty combined, and then I was a makeup artist. And um, like it's taken me still 15 years to feel comfortable to teach people, and to make sure that when I do teach, I can give people the skills that I was given when I was taught at Brow Jam. Um, and to actually enrich people's lives, to enrich other people's lives,
yeah.
not substandard education for me to make a quick buck and then they go destroy people's faces. It's just it's man, it's a topic I could go on about for hours and hours and hours because it's so corrupt. And on the other side of it, people don't want to pay the money for good work. People don't want to pay the money for good training. They don't understand the value of good education. And the clients also don't like, obviously my clients like that come through the door, like they understand what I am and what I do and who I am and they know my reputation. But there's so many where like my nan's favorite hobby is to go on Groupon. She shows me who's in the area, what they're charging and what the work looks like, and she trolls them bitches,
Stop.
screenshot in, and she sends it me and she'll just put lol, look at this. £20 or £30.
I
It's
love Nan.
everywhere. And I'm like, how do these people look at that work? Like, say you give them, I don't know, my work or your work, Carla's work, whoever's work, like a credible artist, and then a shit one. And they look at it and go, yeah, I'm going to get that £20 eyebrow. Who are those people?
Can't pass this up.
Like, yeah, I'm
Can't
going to
let
get
this one get
scarred for
away.
life. I live for carbon black. I've always wanted navy blue eyebrows. Straight up double black.
Carbon black. I live.
Reclaim zero, bam, like brows. Like,
Please, no warmth. Please.
yeah. Orange?
We're
We don't know it.
laughing, but honestly, it's not a conscious decision, is it? They don't
No.
know. the difference between this pigment and that pigment or what's actually
No.
good for them. They know the difference between this picture and that picture. And if
Yeah.
this picture is heavily edited and looks amazing, that's what they're going to ask for. And then they're going to be shocked when it doesn't look like that. That's another big problem that we have right now.
And then it's my fault because when they come to me for a correction and I say no, I'm the bad guy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that. I deal with that every day on the commute. Sat
Or
on the train and I'm
trainings.
like arguing.
Or trainings.
Yeah.
I met a girl once, and this was many years ago, and I don't even remember her name. So listen, unless you out yourself, nobody's ever, even me, no one is ever going to know who you were. But I remember the situation.
That shit's buried.
Dude, it's awful. She came to me. I felt really bad for her. I had just opened the Microblading Institute. She came to me and told me that she had paid this lady in town like $6,000 or $7,000 for a brow training. And this lady was training in the recreation room of a church. So I know
Oh,
that wasn't
wow.
sanctioned by DHH. And when she
That's
got there,
unholy.
right.
Number
So she
one,
got
number one
there,
red flag. That's unholy.
the lady walks up to her. She doesn't say hi, welcome to class, or anything like that. She essentially told her, I'm going to the parking lot to smoke, and your client will be here in a minute. And she was like, I what? She was like, no, I'm here for class. Like, I've never done this before. And she was like, yeah, I know. So she goes smoke, I guess. The girl goes in the room and it's like this absolute bare bottom, basic Alibaba kit with, there's no like cohesive brand or anything. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, we have a paid partnership with Permablend, so we've got lots of quality products for you that
Mm.
come from the International Body Art Alliance. It's not like that. It's like
You can
nameless
imagine the setup.
needles, nameless
Yeah.
needles. The numbing doesn't even have a sticker on it, like just anything, right? And she's looking at it and she's looking around the room. It's just her and like a bunch of, I don't know, it's probably where people eat after church. She's just like, what the hell did I get myself in? The lady comes back from smoking and she was like, hey, this is your client. I met her in the parking lot. So she has her draw with a pencil and a paper and no like brow shape or anything. She has her draw brow hair. She was like, can you draw an
Oh
eyebrow?
God.
And the girl said, what do you mean draw an eyebrow? And she said, like this. And she starts just drawing like lines, like brow hair. And the girl was like, sure. So she gives it a whack. And the lady was like, you'll be great. So she said, does she not need to sign like
Wow.
forms or anything? And she was like, oh yeah, she signed them. And she pointed at like a clipboard that was hanging on the wall and it had some papers on it. She was like, she already signed them. So the girl goes sit down. The lady puts a microblade in her hand and they start making strokes together. Like she has no idea
Wow.
what pigment she's using, what depth is. She doesn't understand. She has no idea what needle she's using. She doesn't know
Mm.
anything. She just walked in this classroom and somebody put a microblade in her hand. So then later
Wild.
she says to herself, something about this is not right. Like, no shit. Something about this is not
You
right.
better
So
pray to Jesus and drink some holy water, bitch.
baby, I don't know, but she walks over to the clipboard on the wall and she looks at it. It's someone else's name on there, not the lady who
Oh.
she was just working on. And it's dated like 7 months ago,
Oh my
which
God.
was probably the last time this lady had a client. So she tells the lady, listen, I just don't think that I am getting a real education, or if I am, like this isn't for me. I don't feel like I'm able to learn in this style. So
Mm.
why don't we just call it a wash? Keep money for today and give me the rest of my money back and I'll just move on. And the lady was like, absolutely not, no refunds. She said, okay, then I'm going to take my kit and I'm going to go see if I can work somewhere else. She said, you don't own your kit until you've done 40 or something like that models. And she said, how am I going to do 40 models in the next 4 days of class? She was like, no, you can finish the class, but you have to do 40 models beforehand. So this lady made 6 or 7 thousand off of her and then was also going to make money on these models, like 40 of them, before she even gave her the kit that they're
That's
using to
what.
work on the models. So the girl comes crying to me and physically crying, which I would be too.
Mm.
That's a lot of money. She was very young. And she said, how can you help me? And I said, well, I can give you a real class, but you have to pay for it. And she was like, well, I already spent so much money. Well, not on me. I'm not going to work for free because somebody else is shisty.
Yeah. This is what we
So
get.
then she wanted to know where she could report her. And I mean, at that point, it's fraud, I mean, to the district attorney, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know
Let's
whatever
get
came of that. But then that lady, the
the
trainer from
trainer.
the church,
Okay.
with the cigarettes and the clipboard, called me. I actually have her saved as do not answer and then her name. She called me and wanted to know, um, if how much I was going to charge for an extra bed at my shop. And I said, I don't have an extra bed at my shop. And she said, oh yeah, sure, you got room. I've driven my like she was throwing that dick everywhere, honey. She was like, oh yeah, you got room. I know it. And it's not worth it for me to pay for DHH for the license every year. I don't take clients that often. So I can just use one of your beds and pay you rent. Isn't that a better idea? And I was like, that's a terrible idea. Just go back to the church.
Yeah.
I know you're not paying DHH. I know that. She was like, well, I have a boutique. It's like she sells fake purses, fake Pradas or whatever. And she does brows there and she scams, I guess.
She sounds
I
great.
she sounds
She
like
sounds reputable.
I'm not reputable. I would love to have a margarita with her and pick her brain because her
Mm.
business prowess reminds me of someone I know. But I just want to know where these folks come from. It's at
Maybe
least
she
incorporated
got her
business.
marketing from that person. You
No, I
know.
don't think that she would ever pay for that. I don't think. But, definitely she was spoken to by the Lord. That's why she has her classes there. So Jesus is
Mm.
always on your side.
It's giving
Oh.
America. I feel like that would not
I'm
happen over here. It's giving middle America, maybe Texas.
gonna splice in like this bald eagle.
It's giving Trump Tower.
Stop. They're actually trying to rebuild this Trump Tower.
The what? I'd love to do Melania's
Sweating and
brows.
laughing so hard. No, they are. It's on the repo block. You might be able to buy it soon.
I'll speak to Carla. Get the checkbook out.
She could use a new New York location.
Yeah, why not? Gorge. To be
The art
fair, Donald Trump looks like he's had that under eye concealer everybody's doing on Instagram at the minute. Cottage
No, he
cheese.
does. No, he does look like
Yeah.
that.
Titanium
I
dioxide.
I am seeing so much conversation around titanium dioxide right now, actually.
Mm,
Not necessarily in the paramedical or like even this, I don't know what we would call it, like pseudo medical of, under eye concealer or
yeah.
trying to do. I'm not even seeing it in that area. I'm just seeing people be really, really confused with CI numbers and whether or not something is high in titanium or not. And like how to
Well,
know
people don't
what
know
to
what they're
use.
looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think they've heard some buzzwords, and I think a lot of conversation was created around the time that REACH compliance came out. Before
yeah.
that, nobody was talking about CI numbers or what was in the color. And
Yeah.
when I talk to Carla, my head goes she confused. She understands things on a level that I'm not as smart as. So I'm seeing all these people with differing opinions, and that's all I can call them is opinions. I don't even think it's conflicting
Yeah.
information.
Well, and I think what happens is people are relying on education now as well, coming from Instagram content. And some people, whatever they say goes, it's gospel. Um, I've been recently upsetting a lot of people in high places by calling them out for just basic things like not wrapping machines, not wearing gloves,
That kills
having
me.
dirty cotton pads on the floor, or then talking about there was one the other day where a lady was talking about carbon black, and every single fact was completely incorrect. So it's like shit breeds more shit, like bacteria breeds,
Oh
and
yeah.
it becomes this wildfire of nobody knows what they're talking about. Everybody thinks that they know what they're talking about, and everyone thinks they're beyond actually relearning and kind of looking at the finer things in this industry, almost getting back to basics. Going back to basics seems like advanced work
Yeah.
because nobody knows it. It's like nobody knows what color makes brown. And that's the first question I ask when I do color theory. Or I will say the colors and then I'll say, what colors do they make? You can bet I get purple every time. It's just people need to start actually like playing with paint. That's one thing we do
Yeah.
in color theory. We make people play with paint and learn relationship of color. Um, but titanium's great. Like it's in the industry for a reason. Same with carbon black. They're not the devil. It's just the artists don't know how to use them in that they're the devil.
A lot of religion today.
There is. It's getting satanic.
We need God now more than ever.
We do.
So obviously you are reputable. You've been trained by reputable people, Carla, and of course me. And
Yeah.
and you are the smartest in the room when it comes to GuyBrows and understanding all of the things that compromise the colors in your brow pigments. So if
Yeah.
somebody says, okay, fine, I don't want to just learn from somebody who learned from somebody who learned from somebody who made it up. I want to take an actual course. How can people get in touch with you?
Through the socials, and I've made it nice and easy that it's very cohesive all the way through. It's all the Brow Wizard on every single platform. It will all direct people to Linktree, and everything's on there. I mean, I know people have a hard time clicking a link. I don't know why. We got people cannot
Here's
use
the
the fingers anymore.
They can do this, but not this.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah, the arm goes up and down, but just can't punch the
Arthritis.
button. Yeah.
Arthritis. It's getting them. I can move my elbow, but I can't move my wrist.
Literally, but yeah, everything's on Linktree. Or just shoot me a DM.
Nice. So when you and Carla come out with your joint project, I'm going to make you promise right now that you're going to come back and launch it here together.
Oh, we would love that. Yeah, in fact, we will do it actually in the same room. Like me and Carla will be, rather than
Yeah.
it being like a three-way. I've never been into three-ways.
Me either. But fun. If I were going to do it through, it would be with you and Carla.
Oh, I
I
love
feel
that. Let's
very
edit it in the
safe.
diary.
Do you know, I have a picture of her. Katie Schofield had this as her lock screen. She might still have it as her lock screen. Carla actually put both of her feet behind her head and took a picture with her feet of herself and sent it to Katie. And Katie has it as her lock screen.
I love that. Yeah, Carla can bend in ways that no other human can. She makes me sit on her and crush her and all sorts. We've got random pictures.
She makes me sit on her and everything. That's a different way to be a lady sitter.
Yeah, like she'll literally she won't give up the seat for me. She just becomes the seat, the human
Well, you
throne.
know, you have to make room for others. And as you progress in business, you're supposed to open up seats at your table for other people. Carla's just doing that in a more ingenuitive way.
Of course, yeah. She had to find a different way to do it.
I love that about her. Okay, well, I will see you back here then. And everybody, anyone who's listening to the podcast, I will make sure that all of Ashley's socials are linked below, as well as the clickable links to his training.